How you doing today there, folks? So last week we covered just a basic intro of how to actually, deploy CachyOS and to do a basically have it set up for gaming and what it looks like kind of out the box on a 45 Home Lab workstation. Mentioned 32 gigs of RAM, 4060 low profile in it, an i5 12600K, basically little rig. So what we're going to do today is I've gone through a little bit of research. What kind of tunings can I do to the BIOS, to the OS itself, and basically see what we can do, how far we can push some of the games that we went through last week. So Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, Cyberpunk 2077, and what was the last one there, Elden Ring. So you're also going to get to see me suffer at Elden Ring quite a bit. Forgot to bring in a controller again, so we'll just chalk it up to me being bad because of that. But with that said, the thing with a workstation is that, one, if you've ever used a gaming laptop, they are going to run pretty loud. They're going to be pretty hot. I mean, you turn that thing on, performance mode, anything like that, it's going to feel like somebody has thrown hot coals in your lap or wherever you've tossed it. But with the workstation, not really the same idea, but it isn't going to be like a full ATX build where you can do your liquid cooling, everything like that. Mind you, could you? Probably. There's probably the technology for it. But stock, it is going to be a little louder, but we want to try and push this to the limits here and see what we can do. Would love to hear any sort of advice, anything that you might have to, get the thermals down a little bit that I didn't cover today or anything like that. And so the other thing is that when I go through some of the settings that I have for each of these games here, you might look and say, why do you have it set like this? I am not I'm a gamer, but I don't do a ton of PC gaming. Pretty much just use my Steam Deck and my PlayStation. So not super well versed in doing the actual settings and everything like that. Again, love to hear your comments in the section down below. But with that said, let's get into it and get into our first game, which is going to be Elden Ring. All right, so I've got Elden Ring booted up here. We're on CachyOS. We are going to actually go into Elden Ring here. So I just started the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Haven't gone back to it in quite a while. So let's actually see how things are looking here. Let's check our system first, see what we're dealing with for graphics. And let's see, screen mode, 1920 by 1080. So again, all right, so while I was actually just looking at something else here, didn't have to find an enemy, one found me, so already tried fighting him before with my big old hammer, and oh man. So, gonna say, not the best in Elden Ring, but trying to actually narrate, get some, oh, here are the specs, here's what's going on, while you're getting murked by, I know it's not a fire giant, but it's something. Yeah, so we can see that our frame rate dipped a little bit there. So we're at 58, 59, but that is because I kind of set a variable frame rate here. So let me go in and actually let's cap this to 60 because that's usually what it'll do it at. Because if a system can do, 60, 150, what have you, I'm usually like to have it static at something. So that's just personal preference again, but let's see here. So I already know I'm not going to do any damage to this guy whatsoever, especially with the mechanics in Shadow of the Erdtree, where you started and you are pretty much back to, step one. Okay, let's see. And I'm not even getting a hit on him. Let's see what we can do. Oh, no. Oh, God, why'd you put that away? Why'd you put that? The 45 Home Lab Panic Stream. Oh, okay, I'm dead. So, with that said, we've seen that we're sticking around 60 FPS, GPU 80%, CPU, not CPU intensive game, of course, but yeah, for a small rig like this, doing pretty well. So we don't have to see me suffer and panic again. Let's get out of this and we will boot up our next game, Cyberpunk 2077. All right, so let's go over to Cyberpunk and that up. And we also have the added resources of OBS because we are directly recording off of this, but let's boot into this and see what we get. Cyberpunk was kind of the one that I was a bit iffy on. I was like, okay, what is our performance going to look like here? What are we getting? Oh, let's boot in. Red engine. So with Cyberpunk, it is a great game for doing the benchmarks. I've heard iffy things on the actual benchmarking tool that CD Projekt Red offers with Cyberpunk. So I'm not going to use that. Just going to go basically off of what we get in the hardware in Mango HUD here. But once we get in, there we go. And I will say, huge fan of Cyberpunk. Obviously, I was a day one buy. Was not a big fan when it originally came out, but now it is probably one of my favorite games, along with Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red in general. But let's boot in and see how we are looking. Alrighty, so let's take a look at those settings here. Playing pad graphics, so DLSS, super resolution, transformer model, have that set to auto. Frame generation, DLSS auto frame, and ray tracing, we have it on, but it's not maxed out or anything like that. Crowd density set to medium. And let's take a look here. Again, motion blur off. Same thing with film grain. Don't know people's opinion on film grain. Not a fan of it myself. Ever since it was either Mass Effect 1 or 2. One of them, it was really bad for it, and I just could not do it ever since. But high, ultra, so we're doing pretty all right here. And now let's get out and actually have some gameplay. So let's take a look here. So if we can find some enemies. We are GPU about 78%, 45, 49 for the CPU. We're going around 59, 60. So there are some additional tunings we can definitely do. Mind you, I'm sure there's some that people are going to be screaming in the comments. Again, feel free to, because if I can do a little bit of a different performance on this, that would be fantastic. So let's actually go in and, oh boy, oh, got a little dip there of 5. So yeah, there are definitely some options that we can do here. So let's see if we can get things a little bit, towards a little bit of a better standing here. So let's put, we'll change our ultras down to high. Again, not an expert by any means. I like to play games. That's about it. That's about where my my expertise goes. But set these to high, apply. May not make a difference. Let's see what we have here. So, all right, that's a little bit better. So we're on high for everything. Ray tracing. Another thing, ray tracing. We could try turning it off, but let's just see how things look here on and when we have a little bit of action going. So I have a new respect for streaming. I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, trying to give information. My brain is just short-circuiting. It is overheating. So let's just see if we can clear this junkyard. We're in Dogtown right now, or at least Dogtown adjacent. Let's see. Let's see. Again, not anybody else. Okay. All right. So yeah, a couple little settings change those out. Still really good. I mean, again, small workstation. So last game we're going to play is Claire Obscura Expedition 33. One of my favorite games of the year by far. So had our Vulkan shaders loading here. And while that goes through, I'm just going to read off some of the tunings that I did within the BIOS itself. So for CPU power limits, we set our long duration power limit, or PL1, from 95, I believe it was 150. Don't quote me on that, but 95 is what we currently have it at. Our short power duration limit, PL2, set to 125 watts. Then for our, there were a lot of default things that we just kept enabled. So Intel Speed Step Technology, Intel Turbo Boost, Speed Shift, Boost Mac Tech 3.0, Intel Thermal Velocity Boost Voltage Optimization. For our CPU voltage and stability, we left that in stable mode. For our memory, we set the DRAM gear mode to gear 1. So this keeps your memory running at full speed, full rated speed, I should say, which helps with any sort of latency there. So then we'll do look at our chipset here. So above, 4G decoding enabled, our CAM, resizable bar, or clever access memory, bunch of different names. We have that enabled. So primary graphics adapter, we don't want it to default to our integrated GPU at any point, so we disabled that. For our thermal fan settings, so for CPU fan setting, we set a curve like 40 degrees Celsius to 40%, 60C to 70%, 80C to 100. Did the same thing for the chassis fan, or similar. Let's see if we did anything else here. And just reading off my notes here, so excuse me there. And let's see. So everything else, that is about it. Yeah, so that's everything we did there. So one thing I'd like to do, go to continue here. Let's actually get into Clair Obscura. So this is another game. So I wanted to get one that was quite a bit newer compared to Cyberpunk and Elden Ring. And beautiful game at the same time. So let's actually just see what our settings are. And let's see. So these ones here, played a little bit this morning, had it running over the weekend because, as I mentioned, so small system, it's going to run hot. We don't want the CPU throttling. We don't want the overheating, especially. GPU, same thing. Want to keep it cool. Still going to run hot, but let's say playing games for 8 hours straight. You have a Sunday, you're not doing anything. That was my day yesterday. Was playing a good amount of Death Stranding 1, because right now I'm playing Death Stranding 2 on PlayStation. So wanted to get a little bit of that again, along with the games we're playing here. So I can say confidently that it has not, it didn't overheat, wasn't good there. If you do have a cat or anything like that, they will enjoy the heat, as I'm sure anybody with a laptop understands that struggle. But let's actually go in and see what we have here for our graphics. We'll go in, so we have high presets, DLSS, quality, reflex low latency enabled, display mode, okay, max FPS, unlimited, okay, good. In our image, post-processing, film grain, already have it disabled on that. Then anti-aliasing shadows, global illumination, and let's actually go in and see what we can get now. So, oh, I was about to say, I was like, did it freeze on me? Mango HUD's obscuring the side panel there, the menu, so I was like, oh no, what have I done? But let's go in. So we're sticking at 60 so far. We don't really have too much going on. Let's just pan around this a little bit. This would have been good to do in Elden Ring, Cyberpunk. So see there, we had a tiny little dip. So let's actually see. 58, 61. And I mean, it is just a beautiful game. One of the reasons that is my favorite, the environment building. It's one of the big things with video games. Like, I want the world to feel lived in. I want it to, you know, have a lot of things to discover in it. So let's actually find some enemies, and go in. We're gonna make some memories and watch me spank these enemies here. So let's go. All right, so with Expedition 33, it's one of the games, along with Elden Ring and Cyberpunk 2077, that I took the time to get 100% on, because they are just some of my favorite games. So let's actually go in here. I haven't put this one up for a while, actually. So let's see now. See if we can find some actual enemies, but... So, another little dip there, but we'll see here. And it doesn't help that I'm kind of going wild with the cursor here. That's it. There we go. Oh my god. These guys were right at the beginning when I started the video. I could have just went to them. Didn't even process it at the time, but let's go. Okay. And I will say this will be pretty easy because I have it set to adventurer mode, because I am scrub and could not beat the 2 optional final bosses without that being set. Kept getting one-shotted, did all the guides, did everything, did not go well. So with that said, let's actually go and do, yeah, basic attack, last level. It's like doing half their health. Yeah, we're set to adventure. I'm not trying to hide that. So we can see here, we're sticking around 60. We're not getting any dips or anything at the moment here, but let's get something with a little panache, a little flair in it. So let's check out our actual skills. And let's see, we have Duelist Storm. Actually, okay, here we go. Fire going in there, so let's go here, boom. Hitting up pretty well, of course, yeah. So one-shotted them using high-level spell. What is it, Curio? Can't remember. It's been a while. So let's go in. Got these guys. And we continue. But yeah, let's actually change settings around a little bit here. Good graphics. And we have... thing here, anti-aliasing. Let's go back up, set to high. Let's see. Let's go to medium and just see how things are looking. So here, apply. Yes. And this is one of those games that is just going to look fantastic, even on medium. Just don't want those flat frames stuttering on us here, but yeah, we still have all of this foliage, everything falling around us, so many different things happening. Just walking around this area, but I will just end up playing this game again, and we don't have enough storage on the camera to actually facilitate that. But with that said, so one thing that we realized is that the 4060, still relatively new, came out in 2023, I believe, but want to upgrade the system a little bit. So keep looking out in the future there for an updated workstation system. We're going to be putting a low profile 5060 in it. Still working out the motherboard that's going to be in it there, along with the other components. The whole point of this video was kind of just to show that, one, as somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with, tuning games for the best performance possible, and even gaming on Linux, it isn't something that I do very often. Honestly, I think I might actually be moving over to it. But kind of the premise of both of these videos was to show that, hey, if you don't have a lot of experience and you want to, one, game on Linux, two, just start gaming in general, you don't have to have a lot of background knowledge to actually get up and running. There's lots of guides online that you can reference, and this performs perfectly well right out of the box with the 45 home lamp system there. Obviously, it does improve as we do some tunings, like setting the fan curve, underclocking, undervolting, I think is the proper word. See, not an expert, but the CPU. But I just want to say that you do have a lot of options. Things are very easy to set up. Now, if you do have any comments down below there, as I mentioned ad nauseum kind of in this video, I'd love to know, because at the end of the day, I like doing these videos because I want to learn more. I want to see more from the community. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the video, my settings, my gaming skills. Can't wait for that one. And if you want to see everything that we have on offer, head on over to store.45homelab.com. Our socials. Our socials will be in the comments down below. No, they won't be in the comments. They'll be in the description. And if you want to actually look at the workstation, configure it yourself, you can actually follow the link right here or down in the description below to take you to our website and see what's actually in this, see what's going on. Head on over to our forums where you can see updates, what other people are doing with their workstations. But with that said, have a good one.